Let's take a look at the communication process. This communication model tutorial was developed by Seton Hall University and will help us look at the process of communication. Now, communication is a system of various parts, and it's best studied by considering models, and we'll be looking at 3 different models to help us understand the different parts of the process. It's important to remember that each of these models is impacted by our culture and the influences that we bring. Now, the process itself starts with communicators, and the communicators can have effective communication when they have a shared field of experience. It's important to have common symbols, for example, common language for effective communication. And also, the communication will be impacted by our background elements. For example, gender, expectations, our memories, our experiences, and so on. So communication takes place in a context. Context is the physical setting, any type of situation that the messages is happening in. Now, communicators both send and receive messages, so you have senders and receivers. The messages themselves are transmitted through a channel, and the channel is any type of thing that allows for the message to be delivered. Now, a message must go through a channel, and the channel can be considered really your 5 senses, your sight, sound, touch, smell, and taste. So that's how we receive our messages in the various ways. Now, before the message can be sent, it's important that the idea, the thought, whatever's being communicated, it is encoded. That means that in the communicator's mind, they decide how they are going to send the message. So then the message gets transmitted, and that's where the channel comes into play, so through those senses. And it's important to remember that these messages themselves have characteristics. All communication, all behavior communicates in some way or another, and communication can be intended or unintended, whether it was meant to be sent or not, because you cannot not communicate. While another person is seeing a person, there is going to be some type of communication, whether you mean it to be sent or not. And messages can be verbal or nonverbal. So just by wearing a t-shirt or wearing something or being yourself, being a male or female, you send messages just by being who you are. And messages also include content and relationship dimensions. So on the one level, it might say something verbally, but it also on another level has an impact on the relationship between the sender and the receiver. So looking at the message, once it is perceived by the receiver, there is meaning, and it is up to the receiver to set what the meaning is. So they are the one who decides what the meaning of the message is. They can communicate what they thought the meaning was by their feedback, and the feedback is what gives the sender the indication that the message was received. Now, noise can be something that interferes with the message. Noise can be internal when we have thoughts in our own mind that maybe take us away from a conversation. Noise can be external, as loud sounds around us may distract us, or noise can be somatic in the sense that the language that was used might have been distorting. For example, if someone used some type of term or trigger word that made you think of something else. So let's look at 3 different types of models of communication. There's the linear communication, which is one way, when you maybe just look at a magazine and see an advertisement and get a message. That is linear. Second is interactional. Interactional is a 2-way communication. In the interactional communication, for example, texting with somebody, the messages are sent and received, but it's at one at a time. The third model is the transactional model, and this is where verbal and nonverbal messages are being sent simultaneously, and this is best depicted by the face-to-face communication. Hopefully, this quick little tutorial has helped you understand the components of the communication process as well as the three models that we can consider.